Do I look creepy?
No.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin.
Just be like, this is my book haul.
I bought a lot of books. So I just wanted to show you the different books that I bought over the past 2.5 months. Sales, Goodwill, and half-price books and other independent bookstores that have things on discount. Hi, dog. I hope you saw him. He's like, dang, girl, you gonna read all of these? Yeah. Hey, buddy. Come here. Come here. Look at him. He's so judging me. Alright, move. There you go. So, yeah, let's get to it. A lot of these I picked up just because I was in the mood for them, the cover, or I have, you know, I heard something about it. They're on my Goodreads list. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Let's work with the new releases that I got and just kind of like work my way through this pile. I really did try to be more organized, but okay, yeah. So the first book that I'm gonna pull out is 9 Liars. Now, I read the entire Truly Devious books in the past year, and just to reread because I knew this was coming out. This is by Maureen Johnson. It's the 5th book, sorry. Okay, so basically this follows the story of a girl named Stevie who applied for a very prestigious academy named Ellingham Academy that was founded by a man back in like the 40s, and then there was a murder, well, there was a kidnapping of his, I don't know why I'm smiling about kidnapping. There was a kidnapping for his wife and his daughter, and like it was never solved about who it was. That's her sole focus, is going to that academy for her to solve it. That's the technical term, correct, right? So yeah, so it's a really, really great series. It's witty. It's one of my favorite books that I've read last year. And then I'm gonna come up with the books that I read last year. A lot of them were rereads. That's why I haven't uploaded it earlier. But yeah, next one is Bloodmarked. Oh my God, I loved it. It is the second installment of Legendborn, which is a great book. Don't know how many more grades I can do. I was so excited for this book. The porn was about this girl that goes to UNC Chapel Hill. It's dark academia meets Merlin, and basically she stumbles upon this secret society that has to do with a lot of King Arthur, kind of like the Knights of the Round Table, with some supernatural powers that come along with it. And it's really, really incredible read, and it ties in with a lot of history that the South doesn't like to recognize. Hi, I'm from the South. We don't know that much because they like to cover it up. But yeah, it's a great read. I'm so excited to read this one. This one's gonna be All the Light We Cannot See. It's been recommended by a lot of people, so I don't really know what it is. Looks like I got it from Half Price Books. And it's by Anthony Doerr. Oh, and it's where the Nazis occupy Paris. So yeah, it's following a girl who is fleeing the country of France while World War II is happening. This one's gonna be the most controversial book right now. It's Prince Harry. I don't want to get into it with my views, but I'm just interested to see what his take is on it. Story. This follows the life of Prince Harry and his words, and you know, the whole famous Megxit, and I'm just interested in seeing what he says. Another new release is the Madly Deeply, The Diaries of Alan Rickman by Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson, or the foreword is by Emma Thompson, and it just follows the incredible man, you know, passed away quietly, not telling anybody about his illness, which is also that controversial opinion of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? So yeah, I hope he talks about it in this one. The next book that I have is Before the Devil Breaks You. This is the 3rd installment in the Diviner series. Read it. The first 2 books were really fast paced, and it basically follows Evie. She goes to New York City after leaving Ohio when her parents pretty much said, we gotta reform ya. We're gonna send you off, ship you off to your like bachelor uncle and his assistant, who are in charge of this very interesting museum in New York that a lot of people call the Museum of Creepy Crawlies or creepy something. Anyways, the creeps. Basically, they call it the Museum of the Creeps, and it basically is a museum of oddities, and all of them have ties to some sort of like supernatural past or some supernatural ability. And then it follows the lives of like about 5 to 6 people, all intertwined, and it's all third person perspective. Really fun, it's really witty, it's really easy to read. The first book was pretty great, I couldn't put it down, and all of them have some sort of magical ability and ties them all together towards the end. So yeah, so this is the third, and then the fourth one is gonna be The King of Crows. So I'm excited. The first one just kind of blew me out of the water. The second one was good as well, but that was more character driven than it was plot for me. The next one is gonna be the Thursday Murder Club. I'm assuming this is murder mystery. Olivia Reed's a latte said that she liked this book, so I want to read the whole series. I just picked up the first book just to make sure I liked it. I'm one of those people that once you start something, you kind of have to finish the whole thing. So yeah, so Thursday Murder Club, I really don't know much about it other than it's a retirement village that meets up for murder, so murder stuff. So not to create murder, but for murder stuff. And the next one that I picked up is A Winter's Promise. I got this at Half Price Books, I believe. And I have the fourth one here, The Storm of Echoes, so I have to get like the two in between. But that was what was at Half Price Books. I love this cover. It's first intrigued me. A lot of people have been on and off about this book, about another person with supernatural abilities. It looks like a fun read. The next one that I have that I picked up at like Goodwill was Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. I've been wanting to pick this up for a while, but I kind of didn't want to pay the massive price for such a small book. You know what I mean? Like when you go to Barnes & Noble, when you find a book that's like 25 bucks, that's like this big, that's way worth it compared to, I got this for like what, a buck or two or something. But yeah, so it's about Matthew McConaughey and then his outlook on life, and I'm just excited to read it. So the next one I have is The Discovery of Witches. My sister and I started this series on Prime? Yeah, I want to say it's Prime. And we really liked it. We kind of stopped because we wanted to watch together and you know how life happens, but I wanted to see the difference in the book and the TV series, because sometimes you just want to and just watch the show. Sometimes you're just like, oh, I want to see what's more behind it. I feel like the show doesn't give it a lot of backstory to what they're trying to adapt from this book. So and it's from Deborah Harkness. And it's book 1 of all the Souls trilogy. So I just picked up the first one. I think I found it at some bookstore. The next one that I found is the Brandon Sanderson's Starsight. I believe this is the second one for Skyward. Yeah, so I'm starting the whole Brandon Sanderson series, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I really like this cover. I have no clue what it is. It looks very sci-fi, obviously. The next one that I have is Kingdom of the Feared, the third book for Kerri Maniscalo's Kingdom of the Wicked. So it's Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, and Kingdom of the Feared. So this is the third one. I'll pick up the first two, but you know, when you see books that you know are more expensive in Barnes & Noble or Books A Million or anything like that, save your monies, right? But I loved the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. It was just fun. It was so exciting. The next one that I have is Beneath a Scarlet Sky by Mary Sullivan. The plot is set in World War II in Italy, and I believe there's some sort of romance in it. I love history, so any historical fiction is something of a steal for me. And look at this novel. Like, look at the cover. It's gorgeous. So yeah, pick this up. I'll let you guys know when I decide to read that, and yeah. The next one is gonna be The Midnight Star. It's the final Young Elites novel, so I have to get, obviously, the Young Elite series. Mary Lou wrote the Legend series. Wow. That one kind of blew me out of the water. It's one of those dystopian novels where you're like, oh, it's gonna be okay, and then you get hooked. So it's kind of like the specials, extras, uglies. Do you guys remember that? Her first set of series, the Legend series, I definitely recommend reading those. I think I'm gonna start rereading my young adult series, more of my dystopian series soon. Not soon, but like sometime this year, or incorporate it somehow all throughout. So, okay, the next one is Dead Awake by Erik Larson. So I've been really loving his books. I think that might start doing like the Audible versions. I know, I really don't like, I don't dislike audiobooks, it's just that I don't get focused and I kind of have to go back and everything. With podcasts, it's short, it's sweet, it's simple, gets right to the point. Personally, like just reading physical books. So it is about some time in World War I, and it's about the Lusitania. My name! Lusitania. It's a German, the last crossing of the Lusitania. They're saying it wrong, I'm saying it wrong. It's Tanya. Hello. I love the way he writes. He writes in a more storytelling aspect, but it is all nonfiction. He does have references. He's done his absolute massive research, so he's just kind of laying it out for you, all these important events that happen or things that you don't know what happened behind the scenes, but he plays it in such a beautiful like display of words and imagery that you really grasp what's going on. So the next one is going to be Ruth Harris's Dreyfus. This is Politics, Emotion, and the Scandal of the Century. And it won the National Jewish Book Awards. So I picked this up at Goodwill. Like, I love the cover first, and I love anything that has to do with World War II once again. And this is about a Danish officer in the French armies, and who was wrongly convicted of being a spy for Germany and was imprisoned on Devil's Island. This sounds really good, and it's a floppy book. Oh, love these. Okay. So the next one that I know everybody's like been eyeing on is the Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City and series. And look how just, again, I got them on the book sale for Barnes & Noble for like an incredible price. And so this is the first one, House of Earth and Blood, and the second one is House of Sky and Breath. I am so excited to read these. Let me just, okay, so everybody knows Sarah J. Maas right now for the ACOTAR series, The Court of Thorns and Roses. That was a shock for me. I just picked it up because everybody was talking about it, and I really try not to delve into the plot points, but a lot of people didn't tell me that it was smutty. A lot of smut. Very descriptive. You can see that I'm blushing hard. So yeah, so I'm just ready to read all her books. I think that that's something that I want to start trying to do, is to incorporate one of the Sarah J. Maas books. So the next one that I'm going to read is, it's the Tad Williams, The Dragonbone Chair. And then the second one is Tad Williams' Stone of Farewell. I just picked this up solely because of the cover at Barnes & Noble. And they're floppy. So I have no clue what it's about, but I've heard really good things about it. I mean, George R.R. Martin said, inspired me to write my own 7-book trilogies. Holy crap, there's 7 books? Oh man, okay. The next one that I have is The Stardust Thief. Heard great things about it by Chelsea Abdullah. Again, I have no clue what it's about. If it's in my Goodreads, somebody told me about it on YouTube. She sells illegal magic. Okay. Alright, so the next one I found at Goodwill was Becoming by Michelle Obama. Again, I'm trying to incorporate some sort of biographies, just learning more about people. So this would probably be my first V.E. Schwab book. And this is going to be The Savage Song. I picked it up at half price, and I'm just so excited. The second one, I know it's a duology, I believe. If there's any more, I'll let you know. So the next one that I have is Doerr by B. Catling. I think it says sentient and magical, a place of demons and angels, of warriors and priests. The Doerr bends time and wipes memory. So yeah, but look at this cover. It just was intriguing on its own. Symbols and everything like that. Looks fairly decent, and just, you know that the cover of books that is like matte but has some sort of texture to it? Wow, okay. Yeah. So the next one that I've seen in Barnes & Noble a lot was The German Heiress. I picked this up at Goodwill, I believe. I mean, the spine is pretty much broken in pages where it kind of comes out a little bit. So I love that feeling, kind of like the leather-bound books. And yeah, so obviously this is about one of the world wars and World War II. So we'll see what this is about. So let me go with more of the biographies. The next one is going to be Elizabeth. The second passed away this past year. I was in a 10-day mourning. Like, I did the whole thing. I watched the processional. As soon as they said that she was, something was wrong with her, we all knew what was going to happen. I was really hoping it wasn't going to, but with Prince Philip passing away just the year before, I kind of knew that she was going to follow suit. And now King Charles II is taking over. So this is more right when season 2 of The Crown came out, and it's by Sally Bedell Smith, Elizabeth the Queen, The Life of Modern Monarch. So I just want to learn more about a lady who inspires me to keep, adapting. I think that's the best way of saying it. She adapted the best she could with her morals, and she's seen technology grow, she's seen people grow, she's seen just so many lifetimes pass by and decades that just transformed in a different way, and her trying to keep up. I think she is an incredible lady. So you can't change my mind. I know a lot of people don't like the royals right now. So yeah, for such a private lady, you don't get to know much about her. So this might be just more about her life that other people have seen. I doubt that she's actually quoted anything, but this lady is one of my idols. The next one that I'm going to talk about is the Walt Disney Triumph of American Imagination by Neil Gabler. I picked this up last year, read some of it, then I got too busy. So this talks about Walt Disney and basically his life. So it's a big book too, and I really, really like that. So the next is going to be You Never Forget Your First, a biography of George Washington. Now this is a very small one, but I heard really good things about it. If you like George Washington, maybe I heard this was like really witty and super fun, and just gets to the point, by Alexis Coe. I actually got to visit Mount Vernon, got to see his homestead. He's self-taught in reading, writing, and also the politics part of things. I really admire him, and I'm excited to read this book, and I hope to get a bigger one about his life as well. Alright, so the next one that I'm going to pick up is Erik Larson, In the Garden of the Beast, as well as Splendid and the Vile. I really love his writing style. I just finished up Devil in the White City, which is about H.H. Holmes, and it's about America's first ambassador to Hitler Germany, and then Professor Dodd, who brings his flamboyant daughter Martha too. So, a saga of Churchill family in defiance during the Blitz. The only middle grade I have currently is Nevermore. This is I believe it's a series or a duology, but it's by Jessica Townsend. Like, look how cute this cover is. And I'm so excited. It looks very whimsical. Obviously it's about magic. So the next one was A Song of Wraith and Ruin. It has to do with the princess. Yep, there's a festival going on. And the second one is Psalms of Storms and Silence. The next one that I have is just a fiction. They both die at the end, and by Adam Silvera, which I believe it's about 3 kids or 3 people who know that they're gonna die that day that they're told. So just gonna read what the hype is about. The next that I'm gonna read is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the prequel, I believe, to the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins, and it just says, ambition will fuel him, competition will drive him, but power has its price. I know there's a movie coming up in the next year, so I should probably read this towards the end of the year. The next one that I want to read is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and just know it's fiction as well. The next is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone, and then so this is the Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is a sequel again. I can't remember much of the first one, but this is by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm really sorry if I butchered it. The next are my Fairy Loot editions of all these books that were given to me since July of last year that I haven't gotten to. The first one's gonna be Belladonna. I heard some incredible things about this. It's by Adeline Grace. Tubers are raving about this, but look at the purple sprayed edges. They're so pretty. I love Fairy Loot. So I only have this, the book only subscription, which gives you the book, the author's note, and like a really cool postcard. This is about the book and it tells you more about it. And it's signed by the actual authors. So, and they come with like beautiful illustrations inside. So the next one is gonna be Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. It's so, the cover is, excuse me, sir. It's so beautiful. It has like this city in the background, and just the sprayed edges have like this peachy orange and blue. It's beautiful. And just like look at the cover. It's gorgeous. So, oh, I forgot, even the actual book itself. So yeah, I definitely recommend Fairy Loot. The next one is gonna be The Darkening by Sunya Mara. Look how beautiful this cover is. Like, and it's gold foiling as well. And then this one just has a really cool emblem there as well. And it has the blue sprayed edges. The next one we have is The Ones We Burn. I'm a Weapon, Use Me. By Rebecca Mix, and it has this gorgeous like Halloween theme. I do believe this one did come out in October. Again, I've had all these since July or something like that, and I just read my first one this month. So, and then my favorite one, The Cruel Illusions by Margie Fuston. Win or Die, a deadly competition, a magical secret society, a chance for revenge. I might add this to my list actually, but look at it. It's gorgeous. That's pretty. Aww, it's kind of like a manga kind of style inside of it. And then the back as well. So it's gorgeous. I love it. So I have no clue what it is, but again, author's note. And all these ones that people have read so much about, I still haven't gotten to, like Lore. This one intrigues me just by the book cover itself, but I've heard amazing things about it. You may deny the fates, but they will not deny you. Fighting them will not save you from what is ahead. This is by Alexander Bracken. I picked this up a lot. It was the same thing with Ninth House. Like, it was just I just picked it up. For some reason I always got distracted and I never could. I have a bookmark here, so I guess I went pretty far into it, but I don't remember anything of it. The next one that I got, this was the Harry Potter illustrated by Jim Kay edition of The Order of the Phoenix. And guys, like, it is gorgeous. I already have all the other 4 books, so I'm excited to see the Half-Blood Prince to come out, and then Deathly Hallows. I am probably gonna read through these illustrated versions again sometime this year. Most likely towards the end of the year, unless I need like a huge pick-me-up or something like that, then I'll read it. So yeah. So the next one that I have, sci-fi and dystopian novels that I have right now. First trilogy is going to be the Aurora Rising trilogies by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So Aurora Rising is the first one, Aurora Burning, and then Aurora's End. And these covers are so pretty. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it other than like sci-fi, looks dystopian. Definitely up my alley. Then the next one that I got is The Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I know that we all like to see the pages, but this is black sprayed edges and this one's just gorgeous. I just heard a lot of good reviews about this and I wanted to get it. The next one is going to be one of my favorite YouTubers, specifically for fantasy, Elliot Brooks' book, Peace and Turmoil, The Dark Shore, Book 1. And it is a chunker. Like, it is chunky. I am pretty sure she talked about it on her channel, but I do not remember anything about what it is. Picked up the one where it gave her the most commissions, so I'll let you know where you can pick that up. I know nothing about this other than everyone's having controversial opinions about it, and it's funny. It's really pink. It's really flashy. Yeah. The next one that I want to read is Olivia Reads a Latte. Recommended this one last year, The Poppy War. I want to get the other edition of it, which is like the white one. It's very pretty. So I know that this is a series that came out, so I'm gonna pick up the other one pretty soon. I know nothing about it, but I just really like the cover. The last kind of like the dystopian novels is the Scifi series. I've been wanting to read this for quite some time. It has been one of my top books that I want to read, but I just got distracted because I'm a mood reader. But yeah, I got the whole trilogy here. So Scythe, Thunderhead, and then The Toll. So then this one is probably like my all-time most anticipated read, to be quite honest, is The Shadow of the Gods duology. I think there's more coming out, and then The Hunger of the Gods. And this is by John Gwynne, and just look at this cover, guys. The dragons are my spirit animal. More Toothless because he's more sassy, but dragons are my spirit animal. I just love this cover. Whatever this werewolf looking beast thing is, I just call it Beowulf pretty much. But it's gorgeous, and I cannot wait to read these. The movie Dune came out last year, I believe, and I wanted to read it before I watched it. I heard some mixed reviews about the movie, and I've had friends in the past who just love the series, and it's like dystopian sci-fi, and it's a chunkers with this edition, so I might get like the bigger. I don't know if I don't really like these small ones. Who, like me, dropped everything Sunday night just to watch House of Dragon? No, just me, who watched it exactly at 9 o'clock as soon as it came out, most of the time at 8:59. Yeah, so I got The Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. I only got to skim through this prior to the show coming out, and it was so good, guys. So the show House of Dragons is loosely based off of this. I've read this, but I just bought this floppy version of it. And then Barnes & Noble came out with the Game of Thrones floppy version of it. So I'm excited to read these again, hopefully, I think this is like a summer read when I have a little bit more time, and just get to break these bad boys in, because I got the Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, Feast for Crows, and Dance of Dragons. And the series still is ongoing. So yeah, that's it for that. Cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna take on this daunting task of reading the Cosmere series this year. I did extensive research about how I want to read it, how to approach it, and there's 3 people that I definitely recommend that I'm linking down below, where they talk about their versions on how to approach the Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson, because it's not just one continuous series, it's different series all in the same universe. So they are the biggest task that I'm gonna have this entire year, but that is definitely happening this year. I'm reading all of these because they have such big books, and I'll just love it. It's gonna be Elliot Brooks. She has her own version. Daniel Green has another version, and then this guy from All Booked Up, who's a smaller YouTuber who reads a lot of epic fantasy as well. That is the 3 recommendations I'm giving. I might trinkle in the way that All Booked Up says it, and also how Elliot breaks it down, and then kind of bring it in with how Daniel. And it starts with Elantris. That's his first book ever. And then The Emperor's Soul Then it goes from Mistborn to the Wall of Ascension, and then the Hero of Ages, which is the first Mistborn series. Because there's Mistborn series era 1, and then there's Mistborn series era 2. So there's 2 separate ones, which I don't have the second one yet, which I'm going to. And then in the beginning, and then his YA novel, Warbreaker. And then it's going to be The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, then the small novella, Edge Dancer, Oathbringer, Rhythm of War. I know I'm missing a couple, and then again, it's the Mistborn era series 2, which was written a while back, but that's the way I'm gonna read it, and then I'll go through that whole series in a more in-depth detail, I think, when I decide to tackle it on, you know, when it comes to that time. I think I'm gonna read Elantris first. So the next one that I have is the Stan Lee's biography, The Man Behind Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I have a really good collection right now, but then I splurged a lot for these series. So Kenobi came out last year on Disney Plus, and Anakin just reprising the role as Anakin turning into Darth Vader, and this is just like right at the beginning of it all happening still, and it's just so good. This is not the Darth Vader that we grew up knowing in the original trilogy, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th episodes. Basically, Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader I really enjoyed, because Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, it's not his fault that it was bad writing. It's not his fault. It was really bad writing, but also Anakin was just whiny. Episodes 1 through 3, well 2 and 3 because it's Hayden Christensen, but the way that he plays Darth Vader in the Kenobi series is really well done, and so I had to pick up the newer Darth Vader Star Wars Omnibus, and it's still in its packaging. I know it's bad. Basically, it's really bad to keep these in packaging. You're supposed to open them up and then go page by page to kind of let it breathe some, or else the bindings will be broken. So look at this cover. It's by Gillen, LaRocca, and Delgado. So the thing with omnibuses for comic books, there are different distributions of them as well as different reprints for them. I believe, I can't open it, I'm not opening it up yet. I'm waiting to do like a open with me sort of thing. But it says Lord Vader will rise again, and oh, it's so cool. I just love graphic novel. WandaVision came out, 2019, and we were all doing the whole 1 episode at a time thing, and if you're a real OG, you're like, what's going on with WandaVision? Because that was the first set of TV series after Endgame. And Endgame, I'm personally a huge fan of Infinity War, and then that's my #1 Marvel movie of all time. I didn't realize Endgame was going to happen in the next couple of years. I just literally thought that this is the end. The Infinity War was literally the end of it. And I was just, the love-hate relationship I had at the very end, where I'm just like, whoa, they actually did it! You know, spoiler alert, like half the people died. So now in Endgame, Iron Man sacrifices himself, and basically you're dealing with the aftermath. That is what Phase 4 is about. So that it started with WandaVision, Mephisto. Look at this cover! If you're not very familiar with fan theories like New Rock Stars, and like Screen Crush, Everything Always, heavy spoilers, there's so many people that I watch when it comes to fan theories and just kind of dissecting what happens in the graphic novels or the comic books that Stan Lee wrote and his whole team back in the day to what it is now that Disney's doing with it. But New Rockstars is like an inside joke about Mephisto with Eric being the spokesperson of just being like, I was so sure, with WandaVision and all Multiverse of Madness coming out. Like, we were just so excited. But I'm excited to read this on a little, like, it's not an omnibus, but this one has like the older the older style comics, and then at the end it has like the newer style graphics. So yeah, this is so cool. I just love the cover. It's displayed right in my library. Then I spent a pretty penny on this one, the Marvel Zombies. Now, if you watch the What If series or Disney Plus for the Marvels, the zombie episode was my favorite. My mom is a huge horror person, and she's the reason why I love horror. She's the reason why I watched things when I was 10 and why I'm so jumpy. And yeah, so zombies is like our collective, it's like our bonding thing. So The Last of Us is something that we're watching right now. But like the What If zombie episode was fantastic. Look at it. Look at it. Was it worth the amount of money I paid for it? Maybe. What I recommend when it comes to omnibuses, you have the actual price of it, which this one was $140, like $125. A lot of YouTubers say not to pay for more than that, but this was a rare one. This is rare. So yeah, I've paid a good bit for it. Could have used it for a trip. She could have used it for food. So again, because I love the What If series, here's the other two omnibuses for it. This one's volume 1, and then this one's volume 2, the big boy. So you can see the difference there. They're massive. Where we're at now with the Marvel Universe is like everything is in different, anything could happen. And if you watch Multiverse Madness, I think that's the best way to talk, like they explained it the best way that they could, that there's different versions of our lives out there, and what if we did something differently? What if this doesn't exist? And then what I really love about Marvel right now is that they're doing the whole the Loki series. I actually have that comic book over there. Owen Wilson, by the way, great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm just gonna say it, I think he's my favorite character. I know it's so controversial because like Iron Man came out with it, and then there's Chris Evans as Captain America. But anyway, so the What If series, where like what if there was different alternate lives, what would happen? And then this is just all Marvel. This came out last year, which was Moon Knight. Again, it's still in its wrapping. It's the omnibus, and it's so pretty. Oscar Isaac plays the character for Moon Knight, and I can't remember his name, but basically it talks about like personality disorders and like the Egyptian world of things, and it's just his performance was incredible. Like I think he should have won an Oscar for what he did to be able to portray 3 different people in one face, and how it's just really well done. The story, it's like the villain was meh, but like Oscar Isaac was the show, so that's why I picked this up. And I really do like history, so that also is a bonus. And then because we're gearing up to phase 5, or I believe phase 6 is where this is going to be, Secret Invasion. So this is the omnibus, and basically it's about Skrulls are in. We kind of recognize that Skrulls could have taken over a lot of personalities ever since Captain Marvel came out in right before Endgame. And yeah, so we don't know who is an alien and who is not, because they can take faces for other people. So do we know if Nick Fury was down on Earth the whole time during Endgame? We don't know. We don't know. Or he's just been chilling up there. Where has Captain America been? And then if you watch She-Hulk, you know the real question. So yeah, that's about it for now. There's a lot of new releases that are coming in. Thank you so much for joining me and letting me ramble on about these books, and I hope to do it in the future. Yeah, just be patient with me with reading. I picked up my master's in network engineering, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know how I'm gonna focus because I want to take my time to read them, and I also want to read as many as I can for the year. But we're all adults, we all have lives. don't be stressed if you can't get to the books that you really want to get to read. You'll make the time when you can. And, you know, just enjoy life right now. Make sure that you go out and enjoy the sunshine too. I'm talking to you introverts, I'm talking to you extroverts, I'm talking to everybody here. So the dog and I say bye.